Hey everybody, welcome back to the 4LowRocks garage. Today it's a friendly little competition between my ARB tire deflator and my brand new set of JT Brooks automatic tire deflators. So hey everybody, welcome back. If this is your first time here on the channel, or if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. It sure does help the channel a lot. You know, for about 2 years now, I've had my Rubicon and I've been wheeling consistently with it since I got it. And since day one, I've been using this ARB tire deflator to take the tires down to a pressure that works well on the trails to give me a nice comfortable ride, and also to help improve grip or flotation on sand, things like that. I normally take these tires down to about 15 psi. That kind of works generally for almost anything. If I'm on a really rocky trail, I might go a little bit lower than that, but since I don't have bead locks, I don't like to go too much lower than about 12 psi. I fear popping a bead out on the trail. So today I'm going to compare this ARB deflator, which I have to use individually on each tire. The idea is that it screws on to the air valve, and it actually unscrews and takes the valve stem out of the tire itself, which allows for quick deflation. It's a pretty ingenious idea. I've never had any problems with it. It's worked ever since. The gauge is pretty darn accurate. You have to manually control the deflation though, and I try to stop it at 15 psi each time. The JT Brooks tire deflators are able to be set. You can set them for a psi that you want your tires at. You can screw them onto the valve stems, and they're supposed to deflate the tires down to the psi that you've selected and stop automatically. The idea being is that you can screw one onto each tire, get them started, and not have to manually monitor them until they quit deflating and pull them off, and you should be good to go on the trail. Now my plan for this friendly little competition is that I have set all of the tires on the Jeep to 35 psi as I normally would for the street, and just to make it an even 20 pounds, that I want it to deflate down to 15 pounds as would be a typical tire pressure that I will use on the trail. So I'm going to air down the tires as I would on the trail. I'm not going to go any faster. I'm not going to try to rush this. I'm going to do it as I would as if I arrived at an event, and I'm going to start in a logical pattern so I can try to be as repeatable as I can during the test. I'm going to go around to the passenger rear. I'm going to attach the ARB deflator to the tire. I'm going to take it down to 15 pounds. Then I'm going to come up to the passenger front there. Then I'll go to the driver rear and the driver front, and at the end of that time I will stop the timer. After that, then I'll reinflate all the tires to 35 psi using my air compressor, and then I'm going to preset the pressure. Then I'm going to go around, I'm going to put one of them on the passenger rear tire. I'm going to get it started. I'll come around to the passenger front, I'll get it started. I'll go to the driver rear, put one on there, I'll get it started, and I'll do the same on the front here. And then I will listen for each deflator to finish airing down in turn, and we should wind up with the last tire being the driver front here, and as soon as I hear that stop, then I will stop the timer and we'll record the time that it took. I think we can probably predict that the JT Brooks, since it will be doing all four of them almost simultaneously, will win this competition. But the ARB does have a slight advantage in that it allows much more air to escape quicker, and we'll see how that might work out in the end. So I have started the timer and it's sweeping, and we're going to go ahead and begin the process using the ARB deflator. And the ARB deflator simply screws on to the valve stem like such. And once you get it screwed all the way on, then you take this valve, you put it in there, you grab a hold of the valve stem and you turn it counterclockwise until you kind of feel it clicking. You've reached the end of the travel, and you pull it out, and then the valve stem is removed, and you can see the tire pressure gauge here, and I'll pull that so we'll get the air flowing and check the pressure. So you can see we're down to about 29 pounds. And I'm going to call that 15. We go ahead and insert the valve stem, tighten it back down. Once it's in place, we pull the remover out and we'll detach it from the wheel. And now we're at the passenger front. Again, we'll attach it to the valve stem, twist it all the way down. Slide that in, remove the valve stem, pull it out, and get the pressure flowing again. And I'll call that 15. And let's call that 15. I think I actually went a little under on that one, but on the trail, a half a pound or so would not matter much at all. And now that we have this detached from the wheel, I'm going to go ahead and stop the timer. Tires airing up, I've got my Smitty-built pump going, and it's this handy-dandy little pressure gauge which has a little bleed valve on the back to help me try to measure where I am as far as pressure goes. So I'm somewhere around 35 maybe. I'm going to go a little bit over. I like to shoot over a little bit so that I can then bring the pressure back down instead of having to reconnect and do it all over again. So everybody, while I was reinflating the tires, bringing them back up to 35 psi, I went ahead and manually set each of the JT Brooks deflators to 15 psi. It's pretty easy by just unlocking this lock nut on the top until you can see the scale. You align the desired psi setting with the top of the body of the valve here, and you lock the lock nut back down. Okay folks, now that we're ready to go and I've got these all set to 15 psi, I'm going to go ahead and hit the timer and we'll get that started. And like I said, I'm going to start on the right rear and work my way around. So we have that one started. Started. And there's tire number 4. I think we're down to the last deflator on this front tire. And there we have it, and I'm stopping the timer. So now that I've stopped the timer, tell me down below how fast you think it took to deflate using the JT Brooks, and whether or not you think the JT Brooks win over the ARB. And we'll get back to you with results as soon as I get the tires aired back up. Here are the results of our competition. Using the ARB deflator, it took a total of 10 minutes and 11 seconds to bring the tires down to trail pressure of 15 psi. The data shows that I got all 4 tires within 1 pound of the target pressure. Not too bad. Using the JT Brooks deflators, it took 8 minutes and 8 seconds to bring all the tires down to a target pressure, and all were within a half pound of the target. Very good. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this test. So the bottom line is, I guess you have to ask, was it worth it investing the almost $100 into the JT Brooks deflators or staying with the ARB? Well, I saved a little over 3 minutes of time, and is that worth $100? I'm not sure. But what I'm more excited about is the convenience. The convenience of being able to pull up to a meet, connect all 4 of those deflators to each individual tire, and just letting them go until they're done. I don't have to stand there, I don't have to monitor it, I don't have to watch what's going on. I can just let them go. So I can take some time while each tire is deflating on its own, automatically, without my intervention, to maybe walk around, socialize with some other Jeep Club members, meet some new people, talk to the board or the other Black Ops folks, and get myself positioned in the Jeep train, maybe work on my video production, whatever I need to do for that 8.5 or a little over 8 minutes that it's going to take to deflate the tires automatically without me being there. As a matter of fact, if I take a little bit too long and I don't come back to the Jeep before they're done, I can feel confident knowing that they will stop on their own and they'll make it to the set tire pressure that I'm looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it worked out well for you. I hope maybe it gives you some information and lets you make a judgment as to whether or not you want to buy the JT Brooks deflators. By the way, I should add the caveat that I was not sponsored by JT Brooks in any way, shape, or form to do this video, nor by ARB. This was all on my own. It was something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm glad to be able to bring it to you via this medium. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave a comment below. And if you haven't already done so, please click that subscribe button, as it means a lot to me and it helps to support the channel. Lastly, please follow 4LowRocks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, happy wheeling!